Hello everyone, today we have a special guest, former two-time heavyweight world title challenger, Luis Ortiz. Hello Luis, it's good to see you.
Hey, how are you going?
Always could be worse, right? Everything is fine. Luis, first of all, I gotta ask you, what kind of shape are you in?
I'm ready. I'm ready for 2 years.
For 3 years?
Yeah. In the fight, I'm ready.
He's been ready for about 2 years, in great shape. Just waiting on an opponent and a fight.
All right, so are there any plans for your return to the ring in the near future?
Yes, absolutely. We're waiting on an answer in the next 10 to 15 days on returning probably in mid to late December. So yes, absolutely. That's the plan.
All right, but can you say something more about it? Who's going to be your opponent?
Planning. Nada, estamos esperando y se decide pelear.
He says that all he really wants to say is just so that he doesn't jinx it, number one, but number two, also so he doesn't scare anybody away, because that seems to be the issue with a lot of these heavyweights. They're just a little scared to fight. So he's hoping to stay a little more quiet now and see if we can sneak up on somebody and they don't even realize that they're going to be fighting him. So he's not going to elaborate too much, he said. But yeah, in the next 10 to 15 days, he's hoping to have a date for mid to late December. Opponent obviously will be to be determined, but he's excited about that.
What I have trouble understanding, probably not only me, is why the boxer of your level doesn't get the fights with the best.
Porque el mismo boxeador de tu nivel no está peleando con los mejores. Él no entiende. Well, I think that the answer to that is a little harder than just, I don't know. I think the answer is probably he's a southpaw heavyweight puncher, boxer, and fighters that were coming up earlier in his career, didn't want to fight him for that reason. Then when Wilder gave him the 2 opportunities, and then Ruiz, and then those fights, thinking this is going to be an easy fight with an old man, didn't turn out that way. It probably scared away everyone else. But at the end of the day, it's difficult to pinpoint one particular thing, especially in the landscape of boxing today, where it's not even so much anymore as it was 20 years ago. So it's a hard question to answer.
But currently, a lot of boxers are working with Turkey and Lashik. Have you received any offers from Saudi Arabia?
Well, we don't know, if we've gotten an actual offer from Saudi Arabia, but we are very excited to be able to fight on those cards if we ever can. I think he would represent their brand very well. He feels that way. He's told me. And he's not the type of fighter, as you probably know, doing the interview, if you followed him, that shows up just to collect a check. He shows up to win and put on a show and knock you out. So that's always great for networks, but you would think it's good for also promoters and people that want to put these shows on. So I'm curious as to why that call hasn't been made to us, but maybe it has behind the scenes. I don't know, but we're definitely ready, willing, and able, he said.
Luis, you've been saying for years that you're interested only in the fight those at the top. Is there a specific boxer you would like to face?
Has dicho por unos cuantos años más quiere pelear con los mejores, que si hay un boxeador en específico que usted con quién quiere.
Chino, los que están ahí, no puedo.
Yeah, he reiterates that, what you just said. He wants to fight the guys at the top at this stage in his career, and the experience that he has, he obviously merits those fights. But more importantly, He wants to fight, you know, the Zangs of the world, you know, the Joshuas of the world. You know, there's no reason why Joshua doesn't step up and fight him now when he's been completely embarrassed and beat in so many different ways at this point. There's no reason for Joshua not to fight him, you know, Furies. He wants all those guys, you know.
Yeah, but what would you say about the fight with your countryman Frank Sanchez, who is the fresh off of the defeat? There has never been the Cuba versus Cuba matchup at such an elite level in boxing heavyweight division.
Me interesa pelear contra Frank Sanchez, Cuba con Cuba, un nivel tan alto.
Bueno, sí, ya cuando hay un nivel alto que sea por título, por no, que va a ser, que vamos a hacer.
That he feels that if it's at the high level, like you said, he wouldn't want that fight just to fight. He wouldn't want that fight just as an undercard somewhere, you know, co-main event or anything like that. If it's a high level fight for some kind of title or legitimate, you know, purse payday, then yeah, why not? That's what we do. But it's not a fight he's going after, nor is it a fight he really cares to have. For no other reason than there's no sense in you know, in two heavyweight Cubans fighting each other when there's so very little of them at this point. You know, they shouldn't have to knock each other off. You know, it should be another heavyweight trying to knock them off.
You're ranked 11th in WBA.
Say again.
You're ranked 11th on WBA rankings, and let me check. 10th in WBC. So you could fight for the title as a challenger against the champion making voluntary defense. Are you trying to get that now, or would you rather have another fight that would you get closer to competing for the title?
Si quieres pelear por un título ya, o si quieres hacer una pelea de entrada. But he's ready physically, emotionally, mentally to fight right now for a title. He does understand that he is ranked and that could happen, but you know, more than likely it won't happen, just for the simple fact that the champions have to step up and fight him. And I don't see that happening, he says. He said this many times before. There's only been a couple of heavyweights that have given him the opportunity. Wilder being one of them, and Ruiz being another, Charles Martin. You know, it's guys that have really stepped up and took the risk to fight him, and he respects them, you know, at the highest of level. And you know, I mean, it's frustrating for him. It's frustrating for him. It's frustrating for him, but he understands the politics of it. He wish it wasn't, but yeah, he's ready. He's ready right now. You know.
Yeah, but if you look at your past, at what stage of your career do you think you were in the best shape of your life?
Usted mira su pasado y su carrera, ¿en qué tiempo usted piensa que ha estado en la mejor condición? ¿En qué fase, qué edad piensa que está mejor?
Estoy en el presente, siempre estoy en el presente, yo no pierdo esperanza. No pierdo esperanza, yo estoy ahí siempre dándome para la oportunidad que me da.
That's a good question, he says, a very interesting one that he's going to answer in the same way, that he feels that probably, you know, speed-wise and maybe even athletic-wise, maybe, you know, 6 to 10 years ago, potentially, but that hasn't diminished in such a way that he can compare you know, apples to apples. It's still kind of the same, but what has really gained for him is experience, is punching power, is patience, is ring generalship. So there's so much more that he does better now that he didn't do 6 to 10 years ago, that's a hard question to answer, an interesting one, but you know, it's a combination, maybe he thinks, of present and 8 years ago, but definitely is including present.
Yeah, Luis, you're one of the older guys in this game. How have your training methods changed over the years?
¿Cómo has cambiado los entrenamientos, ya que eres uno de los más mayores en el deporte? ¿Cómo has cambiado en los métodos de entrenamiento?
método no se cambia. O sea, estoy entrando en la foto, digamos.
That his methods haven't completely changed in a sense where we're not doing what we did 12 years ago, but his recovery is a little bit better. His discipline to his body, his nutrition, those factors, the things that you can get away with when you're 30, that, you can probably still get away with when you're 40, but you definitely want to take into consideration at 44, right? So, that's really what's changed. Not a whole lot as far as training, not a whole lot as far as what the day-to-day plan is. He still trains every day. Maybe he's not doing 2 and 3 days like he used to every day, but they're still a part of the schedule. So, wisdom, experience, understanding what worked, what didn't work, and moving from there.
What is a typical day like for Luis Ortiz?
Que es un día típico.
Y a ti, un día aquí.
¿Qué es lo que tú haces? Despiertas.
Levantarme, llevar a los niños a la escuela, antes llevo a los niños para la escuela, voy para el gimnasio, voy para la casa a almorzar y acostarte, vuelvo para la tarde a entrenar.
Depending on the day, if it's a 2-a-day, he wakes up, gets the kids ready with his wife. They give him breakfast. He takes them to school. He loves driving the kids to school. Comes to the gym, trains. Finishes his training. If it's a day where he has to go and get some therapy or recovery, he does that. Heads back home, has lunch, takes a nap, picks up the kids from school, brings them back, does homework, and then heads to his second training. If it's a 2-a-day training, heads to the second training, finishes up, comes home, has dinner, relaxes, and then rest, repeat. It's a boring day. It's not a lot going on.
Luis, it is known that Miami is a home to a large number of Cubans. How do you feel living in this city?
Que se sabe que Miami es definitivamente una segunda casa para los cubanos, como se siente viviendo aquí en Miami.
Bueno, aquí todo bien, siempre llegan los cubanos, siempre estamos aquí, conversamos con los nuevos, siempre nos los ve, le da consejos.
He says that it's very nice. It is definitely home away from home. The gym in general is a great place to, catch up stories, especially with some of the other fighters with Cuban who are just coming in, who are just getting here, and they're looking, for advice and some guidance. And he loves to do that with the young fighters. He loves to guide them. He loves to, give them advice. They don't always listen, but he still gives it to them. And he gets to hear some stories from back home. He gets to hear some, how things are going, etc. So, he loves Miami, he's a Miami boy.
Thanks a lot, guys, for the great conversation. Luis, we are waiting for your return. We wish you good luck. You have a greetings from Polish fans. You are liked and respected in the country of Poland.
Thank you.
Y que están esperando para su funeral. Thank you so much, he says. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.